Okay, cool. Actually, I don't know what to do here. It's not the first time, but yeah, the second time here. The last time I also get very nervous. Anyway, can I have applause, please? Thank you, thank you. Okay, so my talk today is a performance components to customization. I know it's really hard to understand what it means. That's why we're here. So, but first, let's talk about me, myself. It's not about me. So I'm Maya, and I'm a senior front-end developer in CloudNuri, and I'm a core maintainer of StorefrontUI, which will be featured in this talk. Don't worry, it's not a talk about how cool it is. It's a talk about how good we build it. And I'm a founder of Vue.js Israel community, together with Dima, and I'm also a blogger about JavaScript on internet, so you'll pretty find me everywhere. And that's it. But, well, technically that's it. But for some reason, every time I go, people tend to ask me where I'm from. Am I Japanese, Chinese, Korean, who I am. So I got to add this. I'm Vietnamese originally. I've been living in Israel for 10 years. Yeah, I do speak Hebrew a lot. And I'm expecting, look. Thank you. Okay, I got to add this. Today, actually, the birthday of Vue.js Israel. So I got to add this. Facebook remind me, and cannot avoid it. So it was 1 year ago. It's over a steak dinner with Dima. Cool. And before we move on, I also need to talk about CloudNuri because people keep asking me, what the heck is CloudNuri? Are you guys like on the cloud or something? So a little bit about CloudNuri. So we are media upload, management, asset, digital, whatever, everything about image and video. It's not very complicated, but in fact, let's say I have a picture of me, which is in high resolution, and I need to ship it with applications. So normally you have to put it together in your application code and then deploy it to a hosting service, server side or something, and it has to stay there at a very big file. But with CloudNuri, you just need to upload to CloudNuri or another third party that have integration. So like AWS or S3. And then on runtime, on client side per device, they can request, the application will request for the optimized version through URL. And the size already optimized from 1 megabyte to 300 kilobytes. It's absolutely optimized for your application, make the loading time faster. You can do all the extra stuff like cropping, make it fade detection, auto detection, or you can do a little bit effect like Photoshop filter or get crazy with it. Everything can be done in URL, and that's in CloudNuri. So we have a booth. So if you want to check it out, go to our booth, and we have Cloudicorn to give away. By the way, this will be given away to anyone that have answered my question during my talk correctly. So be ready. So, okay, now we'll talk. Component libraries. Who here are using component library in the code base? Raise your hand. It's not a question for unicorn, so don't worry. Okay, who like it? Every time when I ask this question, I have a very few people raise their hand, which is similar to here. Okay, I know it's very convenient to use, but not a lot of people like it. So, what exactly component library? Anyone can answer me? Well, first of all, component library is component that is reusable, which means you have a sidebar, you can put anything inside, but it has to behave like a sidebar, and you can reuse for another way. Like we can put different content, but still a sidebar from different location. You don't have to create two versions of it. It's reusable. Stylable, you have different colors, different style, font size. Customizable, which means you can always extend it. Say, if I don't like the icon notification, I can change it to different icon, or I can change the way I make the close button. But it shouldn't make you make an extra component. You're using the same component. And it has to be responsive, which means you have a desktop version. I built it, by the way. And This have to be responsive in mobile, because we live in a mobile world. Everything now have to be responsive both in mobile and both in desktop. And finally, the component have to be isolated and testable, which means no one wants to write their own test. So if you use a component, you expect the component library, a component have to be tested, fully tested, isolated enough to reuse in other places, and documented well, right? So, which in short, not really short, component library means that it will build based on two factors. The first one is visual consistency, which is style guides. It have to go follow a standard, have to follow a design style guide, color, font size, padding. This way will allow user to know how to interact, how to identify the component based on the color. What red stands for alert, blue stands for active, and so on and so forth. That is the UI. And the second one is functional consistency, which is very important because user first time go enter your app, he needs to know how to interact with your app, with your component. Let's say if you have a sidebar, he probably can guess that you can close the sidebar by closing the button up there, or in the overlay, dark background. Nothing surprising here. Or if you have a card or a product card, user know that if you hover on it or you click on it, it probably means select. This is important because if not, the user would not know how to interact with your app, and they're surprised and they will not feel secure enough to continue using, and they just leave. And that's it, the UX/UI. So component library means that it has to combine between UX and UI, not just UI, like we always thought. And it means that now when you build component library, it's not component library. It's actually you build a whole design system, with including style guide, theme, architecture, everything. And which also means you develop a component library, a good one, means that you actually develop a design system for it. A good component library, it means that you have the whole design system designed after it. And that's a talk. Thank you. No. I only have 10 minutes, so no. Okay. Now is the question. Hello. What makes you select a UI library for your project? Sorry? Size? Interesting. Why?
Because I want my users to not to download too much, and it helps me with SEO as well.
Okay, we mean the size, the bundle size of the thing. That's correct, it's performant. Oh, good. I have only one. What else? Sorry? Cool. Exactly. Should I give it to him? Anyone agree? Raise your hand. A few. Okay. I'm sorry. Oops. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. So what the things first, like you say, it has to meet the goal of the user when you select a component, whether a component library. Meet the goal of the user with your need, whether that's what you're looking for. Second is performance-wise. Customizability, simplicity, and ease of use. This is the 5 factors of how users select a component library. So let's talk about how you meet the goal. How you know what users are looking for? Well, you don't know. I also don't know. Well, users don't even know what they're looking for sometimes. So how would you do it? You can do it better by defining the goal, like planning, very well structured, define what you want to achieve for your component library. Like you have a style guide, you implement from the style guide, and then all the time interacting with it, find the bugs because you are the one who developed it. You are going to use it. So all the time you find things that sometimes designer went overboard with imagination, and they have to change it. And good planning equal to less breaking changes. Webpack, I'm talking about you. No one likes breaking changes. But yeah, I also don't like, so good planning, always good. And how we define the goal? We have for everyone needs, and we have everything library, like a lot of components, or we are desktop friendly first? Nope, we are e-commerce. We focus on a very specific needs. We prioritize customization, which means we don't aim for a customizable component library, but we have other factors, including performance, customization, but among these factors, we prioritize customizable for the user. And this means we can do code compatible for at least 80% of design case. We try to build a component library like that. And it has to be mobile first. Because face it, nowadays everyone is about mobile. Any one of you ever do shopping on desktop anymore? Oh, come on. For real? Okay, performance. So the next one is performance. So either performance means faster loading bundle size. The truth is, performance, you have two factors, development and delivery. The development means that the way you develop your component, number of props, everything you do matters. Standalone component, have any dependency outside of it, how your code structure, in order for other developers to pick it up fast enough and continue development, because only then, the simpler structure you have, the faster development you will have, and faster delivery. Everything go together. And that also means that on delivery, if you do it correctly, the code structure is simple enough, you have the size is small, the installing effort for user is small, and of course, bundle speed will be faster. Am I right? Yeah, Webpack approved. And the loading time will be faster because the size is small. So everything connect to each other, not a single one stand out. Customizability, yeah. Are you ready for user to turn your component upside down? Because every developer don't like to try to use something by default. Like every developer likes to try to break things, tweak things, and say, okay, this design is shitty. No, I'm sorry. They have to change it. And so what do you mean by customizability? For example, I have design style here with some default colors. I have a button, but I don't want this color. I want to change something like this. Something nicer that out of the box. Or I don't want your padding. I want to make it bigger. Or I want the font size to be different because I don't like your font size. It's worse. It's bad. It's really not nice to me. And or I have a set of icons. You give me a set of icons icon with a size, but I don't like it. I want something big, like that. How do I do that? So this is called style guides customizability. Another thing is if, for example, the component library normally give you a lot of icons, but sometimes in company you have designer with a set of icons that match your own branding and styling. So these icons are not useful. You need to use extra icons from other sources, like Font Awesome or Material icon or anything else. Don't know. For example, like this, and more stuff. So this also means this is the component-based customizability. And you have including like you can change icon, content design, and that's functional design out of the scope. That's nothing defined anywhere. And how do I customize style guides? CSS class? Anyone think that CSS class is correct? No? Okay, no, yeah. CSS variable? Quite better. It works, but sometimes you get into this error in compiling or bundling your site because it just happened. Sometimes the bundle has some problem, and this is actually the error that I faced like several days ago when I tried to use some CSS variable compiling in Vue using Vue CLI. So no, CSS variable, why not? We have it built in, it's supported by browser, and of course you're talking about IE, but who cares about IE nowadays? Oh, finally I got to say that. And how you do that? So very simple. A CSS variable is very powerful, very friendly using. You just we define the whole variable set on top of the root. And whenever you want to change something, let's say I want to change the text font size family here, I just add I just modify the CSS variable that's related to it, and it becomes like this. It will not affect anyone else except the component you put it on, or in fact the whole application if you modify on the root. And that's it. How about template? Let's say I have a button, learn more, and the button will be declared like this, very simple. You have button and just the text. But then someone say, I want a button with an icon on the left. Okay, fine, I'll give you icon, prop, icon position. You just put the icon in there. But then the user will say, no, I want the size to be bigger or smaller. Then you add another prop size. And then say, no, I want the icon to be clickable. Like you click on it, and then it will tell you something. No problem. But then the needs go on, and so forth, and so on. And then you will have endless props, but you still don't cover all the cases. How you do that? First of all, you don't need to do that. The less prop you have, the better in performance also. And so we decided to use the way that we combine the both way. We have the button, and we have the icon, and we have the learn more inside it. So we allow user to modify the template itself. The way we implement the button, we have a default, and then we have the additional things to allow user to modify it. And that's called slot. Everyone knows slot. The power of slot, right? So it allows you to give the customer own functionality, which means in general you have cover about 80% of most common case when the user only need a button with a text. And the 20% you're using slot to cover it. Leave the responsibility for user. What about icon? You saw a lot of libraries offer a lot of icons, but not every icon we need. Let's say I have an icon of home. In StorefrontUI, we just put icon, home, size, color according to a standard. But then, one day I want to change the icon to something is not normal, which it doesn't exist in our style guide, like a cloud. What do we do now? So first, we realized that the icon has single color, and it consists of several SVG paths. It's SVG. Don't ask me why we're using SVG. If you miss it, go watch Dima talk. Anyway, so it's minimal form, which because it's icon, it has to be minimized to the use case. So you cannot be really complex because icon is supposed to be simple enough for user to understand. And it's scalable. And the two things that are important in an SVG icon is that the view box and the path. The path is where you draw the icon. The view box is the box where you draw the icon to fit into it. And without view box, the icon will not render correctly and you wish to render. And from the view box, you can create the size and it's scalable. So what we do, we take the path and we put in the icon instead of a name. We put the whole path in the icon as a string and the view box, and we got the icon. What if I want the icon to be purple, that's not in the design system? Similarly, we can pass any CSS support color in the props of color. And if I want to make it bigger, just pass any CSS supported height inside. And that's it. What about icons that have more than one path? You accept one path as a string, but if you have two paths, do the same thing. Instead of passing only the string, you pass the array of it. And that will do the work for you. So the icon will support three things. Then the preset, string input, and array input. And we have the customizable icon. And you can even export the icon from SVG to JS JavaScript and use it at the design system for icon throughout your application. And we just work. What about functionality? Let's say I have a radio button, And in some weird case, normally you click on the select button, and it will select or unselect. But now user want to do something extra. Let's say, I don't want to only click on the circle one. I want to click on the label. I want to click on the title, and it will do something for me. So how do you do that? The in-material design is impossible, because this is how it will implement. In-material design is it implement label and the input separately. So you would never have, it would be really hard for you to override this design in your own component, like if you want to tweak it like this or make it out of the box. The best way is using slot, or make it on the event and listen to the parent instead of to the input. And then we'll go on from that. Ease of use. Well, like I say, technically you have 5 minutes until I decided I don't want to use you. Right? If you use a component library and you go there and you say, okay, it takes me 10 minutes to set it up. No, I don't really want to use it. Anyone ever feel that way? A lot, come on, don't be shy. Okay, so how is delivery? We just ship it, like a ship. Now we do bundle. First of all, we try to bundle code, like on the other library. But the classic way of bundling means that you have a main.js file. When you do this, you actually import all the whole library into production code. And that means you have absolutely zero control over any bundle code, CSS code. You can do allocator mode like in Vue.js and other stuff. But remember, if you are in the middle of writing a component, and then you realize you need to use a component that was not declared before, so you need to technically switch to a main.js file, register that component, and then come back to the component file you are working on. It's context switch. We don't want that. So we change it to raw source code. What it means is that you just import whatever you want to use per component. And this way, if you don't want to use it anymore, you will realize that ESLint probably scream at you saying that you don't use this, delete it, and you don't have any legacy code or any code that you don't want to use, but it's still there. The bad thing is they're not working on browser at ease, but most of the application doesn't work on browser at ease anyway. And you need some bundle tool like Webpack to compile it. The good news is you have full control over everything, bundle code, tree checking, because you only import what you want to use. And nowadays, anyone that's not using Webpack or anything similar, I'm talking. So, yeah, why not use raw source code? Organized code. So how do we organize our code? Organizing code also important for performance. Template, we break into standalone block like this. Each block will have different name in the slot. So if we need to use CSS selector, we're using BAM convention. And prop, we make a list prop as possible, and it has to be clear and concise name, so everyone knows exactly what it is to expect. Slot, we use scope slot, which every slot have a name, so users know exactly which slot or which template they are replacing. And integrate, we have client-side rendering, like this way, we have server-side rendering, nuxt.js, because we are user UI component library, so I have to work with everyone. And of course, this is someone that just create some starter kit using StorefrontUI. Yay! And it's not even beta yet. And they already use it, so you can try with Grissom. Documentation. One of the important, super important in documentation. So in StorefrontUI, we're using Storybook to show you how good is the component, how to use it, and what you can do in order to believe that the component works the way we say it works. So how to set it up. Other things like how to set it up, how to contribute. And am I the one you're looking for? Am I the one? Everything is Vue Press. So on the answer, the other answer will be to document it in Vue, using VuePress. On the component related will be in Storybook. But again, writing documentation is not very easy. It's consuming a lot of time, and it's not my first language, so it's hard. But thanks to our core member, Eddie, he make it automate our documentation. And this is the auto-generate process. We travel, we mark down, and we fill in place with final generated products. So we just have all this automated on build time, so you don't have to worry about documentation manually writing it. Simplicity. We're using automatic design, which means if anyone haven't known about atomic design, go check it out first. And what we do, we break all the components into the ground level components, and then user can choose to use only atoms or molecules or organisms. I hate this word. I don't know how to pronounce it. And templates, or you can use the whole thing. And it's super simple. It can work with material design. It can work with any other design that you want it to work. What else? Basically, the other tips I can give when you're building a component library is that you lazy load everything you can. We have lazy load on image, lazy load it. Lazy load using Webpack. I got to stop it. Like you're using lazy load it because it's helped to make the code bundles, the loading times faster. Adopt other optimized solutions like using CloudNuri for handling image, or if you need to. And think developer first, because you are the developer and you're building tools for developer. They are the user. So treat the other fellow developer as your user. Always have to demo, think about what can go wrong, build demos, try it out, and see that which one doesn't fit to the current design. And lastly, it's about StorefrontUI. Oh, finally. This is StorefrontUI, and you probably guessed, we are the e-commerce library, and we are super awesome, I hope. And this is the team. And this is our new member lately. I'm so happy because now we have 3 female in the team, which is great because before I'm the only female. Demo. So for demo, we already have the demo that I just wrote it like about a week ago. It took me 3 hours to write it. It's still ongoing because I still haven't on the functionality yet. But you can try it out. It's open source. And it's using Vue, StorefrontUI, and deploying Zate now. And try it out. And what's next? So we're going to build demo for Nuxt. We're going to build demo for Grissom. And we're going to release stable version with production ready. And accessibility, of course, because I'm an accessibility person. So I need to make sure that it's accessible enough. And lastly, what can you do for us? You need to support it. No, you should support it, not need to. Give it a star on GitHub, please. Or contribute. We need documentation. We need people who implement a component. We need great developers like you guys. So go check it out. Or join our team. The more, the merrier. Thank you.